Okay, so welcome to, I guess, a discussion with myself. uh, Maybe I didn't send the invitation out to the right audience or whatnot. So I'm just gonna wait and see if some people pop up. If not, I'm gonna go join somebody else's. So if you one of the two viewers, you can either jump in, and I can either send you an invitation. Uh, we can all go to another. We can go to another session. I feel like it's the first day of class and the professor didn't show up. Like it was, what's the number of minutes to wait for before you before you marked absent? Okay, I'm gonna give it 5 minutes. So I guess while we waiting, I just kind of talk about the idea and the concept that I would have been trying to moderate and discuss. Uh, in the educational realm, a lot of times, a lot of the things that we do is based on research. I know if you're a teacher and you're about to adopt a certain textbook series for your school system, one of the things is the are the practices in the book, are they research based, right? And so this research comes from a pool of doctors basically doing just their research. But there's a way to do research. Excuse me. There's a protocol or a way that you get your participants to the research. There are certain stakeholders where there's certain permission has to be asked before you just go in and pass our survey and ask. So if you collect data in a certain way, and and if you kind of look at the details of the data, I just give you an example while we're waiting on the 5 minute deadline. Um, if let's say that you had a new device in your classroom and you had a new application that you were using with your students, and this application that you were using with your students was great, it was a wonderful tool and it was great, and so you go to your coworker and you say, hey, this is great, this is wonderful. So now you and your coworker have decided that this is a productive tool to use. Well, how do you get that information to the rest of the world? Like the rest of the world don't want to hear what two coworkers did. But the truth is, maybe they do. If you figured out how to tell that story of those two coworkers, like what type of students do they work with, what type of school do they work at, um, what was the improvements of using this device and this application. Um, let's just, I'm gonna say formative assessment, just for an example. Let's say that these educators normally do some form of formative assessment with their students, and now they find an application that helps them get the data from the formative assessment quicker and easier. Um, wouldn't that be a valuable thing to know before I decide to try an application? Because as many people that are liking an application that they're using on an iPhone or an iPad or an Android or whatever, there are just as many people not liking it. So how can you get just regular people to learn like basic research practices to be able to capture that data and then share that data with people that are eagerly waiting to try to find something new that works. So it's been 5 minutes. I'm gonna stop the broadcast and do something else.